You know, the funny thing is, if this was the Democrats and Republicans were actually real political parties instead of two puppets for the satanic elite, it'd be a whole different story. Biden would be fighting to try to look good in front of the free world and trying to, have a good reputation in front of Democrats and Republicans. But the reality is these are just two fake parties, two wings of the same demonic bird. Iran, Team Trump's Afghan withdrawal, Biden's attempt to blame us is just sad. Yeah, Republicans are just as bad too. Just playing along with the script, President Joe Biden has sought to place blame for a shocking denouement in Afghanistan on the situation he inherited from the Trump administration. What a sad sack attempt at blame shifting. Team Trump's withdrawal plans was sound. What proved catastrophic was Biden's changes to that plan. I'm intimately familiar with the former President Trump's Afghanistan strategy. In November 2020, I was named Chief of Staff at the Pentagon, where one of my primary responsibilities was to wind down the forever war in Afghanistan. Trump instructed me to arrange conditions-based methodological exit plan that would preserve the national interest. The plan ended up being fairly simple. The Afghan government and the Taliban were both told they would face the full force of the U.S. military if they would cause any harm to the Americans or American interests in Afghanistan. Next, both parties would negotiate to create an interim joint government, and both sides had to repudiate al-Qaeda. Lastly, a small special operations force would be stationed in the country to take direct action against any terrorist threat that arose. When all those conditions were met, along with other cascading conditions, then withdrawal could and did begin. What makes you think the Taliban would actually want to cooperate with the Afghan government? I just want to, I'm just saying. What makes you think those terrorists would actually, terrorists that was trained by the CIA to actually want to cooperate? We executed this plan until January 20th, 2021. During this interval, when there were no U.S. casualties in Afghanistan, President Ashraf Ghani and the Taliban conducted multiple rounds of negotiations, and al-Qaeda was sidelined. The result was a successful drawdown of U.S. forces in Afghanistan to 2,500, the lowest count since the dawn of the war on terror. Interesting. Oh, boy. We handed an entire plan to the incoming Biden administration during the lengthy transition. The new team simply wasn't interested. Everything changed when the new commander-in-chief declared that U.S. forces would leave Afghanistan by September 11, 2021, pushing back the Trump administration's timetable by 4 months. Crucially, he didn't condition the withdrawal on continued adherence to the agreed upon stipulations. It would be an unconditional pullout with an arbitrary date based on pure symbolism and set in stone. At that point, the Taliban sat back and waited for the date to draw near, then launched a countrywide offensive, knowing they had no reason to fear any reprisals from this administration. The ongoing chaos, not least the stranding of U.S. personnel and allies, was a natural result of the Biden administration's decision to eschew a conditions-based plan. So basically, he moved all the military out, all U.S. military out, and he left the people to fend for themselves at the hands of the Taliban. When an unmovable withdrawal date is in place, Team Biden showed no appreciation for ground-level intelligence reporting, which was largely rendered irrelevant. Just this week, Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, claimed the security situation in Afghanistan unfolded at unexpected speed. That is a shocking statement to hear from one of our nation's most senior national security levels. No one should have been the slightest bit surprised that when revealed of any conditions or obligations, the Taliban could and would overrun the whole country in the absence of the U.S. military power. Tragically, because of the Biden administration's single-minded focus on the pullout date, hard-nosed intelligence was replaced with wishful thinking and false promises. In April, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken vowed, "We will withdraw our troops responsibly, deliberately, safely, and will pursue a durable and just political settlement between the government of Afghanistan and the Taliban." None of that happened last month. Blinken assured us that Biden's withdrawal plan would endanger the U.S. embassy in Kabul, which is now evacuated. And Biden himself declared last month that it was highly unlikely that the Taliban would overrun Afghanistan, which they have now done with blinding speed. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty much, it's over. I feel sorry for those people there in Afghanistan. There's missionaries there too. I mean, I heard that, a Christian missionary was skinned alive in front of his family by the Taliban. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, Biden had it all under control, right? Amid the cheap political rhetoric, ignorance of the ground level security situation, and the lack of conditions-based plan, Afghanistan has fallen. America and the world deserve much better than those privileged to serve in high office. We are witnessing the utter collapse of a government, and not just in Afghanistan. Well, instead of taking responsibility, instead of, just being that, strong, hard-line leader to get in the Taliban's neck and to, make sure, there was reasonable conditions met that the people of the citizens of Afghanistan would be safe. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about in a fair and realistic world, ideal world where the two political parties actually are out for the good of the people and the free world. It's sad to say I saw a video on YouTube of, Afghan citizens trying to hold on to the plane leaving Afghanistan of U.S. troops. And they were literally trying to hold on to the plane. Literally, as the plane took off, they were holding on, and then they just fell off. It's like they were like little flies, or I don't know, like little black dots just dropping to the ground to their death. It was sad. It was really sad. But that's how desperate they wanted to leave Afghanistan, since they knew that the Taliban were going to take over and start killing and hurting people. But, Biden's just following the script, just like Trump followed his script. All right. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Later.